is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's light, camera, fashion, where we strut, slay, and sashay, and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name is Nachika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name is Damilola Banire. My name is Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo.
It's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. YK in the building. I haven't seen you in forever, YK.
You've been avoiding me.
No, you have been avoiding me.
Because every time last week when I came on the show, you were never here. Murayo avoiding me. Okay?
YK.
You will appear one day. And now you have appeared.
How you doing? All your beads are not loud at all. They're very silent. I can even hear them in my ears. How you doing?
I'm fine. Do you know someone called Kendu?
Of course, that's my like my brother to brother.
Okay. You know, he came to shine on Sunday.
Oh, with his Oyibo wife.
Yes, and he said, "Tell Murayo, Kendu."
Yeah,
I said, I will tell her.
Oh yeah, he's like my brother's very good friend, and
very kind of. If you see the man,
yeah,
he was 70. He's 70. You would think he's one small.
Yeah,
he said, "Don't look at my face. I'm 70."
Okay. Yeah, I can do his.
He came strong with his wife. They loved it. You know, so nice.
So you know, my dad's house, how the boys' house. So it was one of the guys that used to be there, and it was really cool. Good to have you, Waiki. And congratulations to your brother, Seun Kuti. Coachella. I think I was in Coachella with the concert.
Oh, okay.
It was really ahead. I heard some really
yes.
good, amazing things. Fantastic performance. Well done to him.
Yes.
Alaja Nima Akasha Zibiri. How are you? Ayazibiri. Ayazibiri.
In my most sober moment, I lost a friend.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You know, when I just want to tell people that if your friend is not willing to share what they're dealing with, just try and understand. When they pass, it's part of life. Just try and let it go. Because recently I had someone tell me that when I was diagnosed and I just thought myself, I don't want people to know, to be burdened by what I was dealing with. And so when I lost this friend and I was reading, I was like, we were both pregnant in 2016. We shared a room. You know, I just thought,
some people don't like to share.
It's in good interest that you know that they try to be discreet of whatever they're dealing with, just to understand. Because people, they share. You'd have said, I'm wondering if they mention, we all just we have been talking, and now that they have passed, it's the will of God to accept it. But let's just be understanding of what people are dealing with. People are really going through things.
Amaka, how you doing?
Everybody's
great.
different.
I love your hair.
Thank you. You know, I went to Dazzle Abuja.
Nice. Oh yeah, Obi Kumana's birthday party. You guys shut down Abuja. They knew Lagos was around.
Hey God, it was party after party after party. Like I'm still recovering. Yes, it was amazing. It was he did great. The planning committee did great, and friends that showed up did great. It was just fantastic.
So for those of you that understand that the phone ringing is Wike, you know she's 64 years old, she forgot to turn off her phone. So it's okay, please, we understand you. Is that right?
And how are you? You're looking all colorful.
Thank you very much. But this morning I saw something really bad. On Third Mainland Bridge, a totally dismembered body.
Oh God.
totally dismembered. Lungs here, brain here, leg here. I mean, last one was running up a helter skelter trying to cover up the place, but it was really, I mean, I saw it, all the body parts.
Were you driving?
I wasn't, my driver was driving, so he was slowing down. There was a serious traffic on Terminal Bridge.
There was, but my own was just an accident. I didn't see any.
I don't know if the accident happened. I don't know what happened, but it was only the body. I didn't even see a car wrecked. So I don't know. Maybe somebody hit that person, but you could see that the bodies were totally dismembered. I could actually see the lungs.
Oh God! What color?
Why kill?
I have to ask now because maybe she thought she was seeing long and it wasn't long.
What color is lungs?
Pink. God.
It was.
Is it pink?
God don't mercy.
So you saw the lungs.
Just go on.
Let's go in a break, Abby.
Let me join you this time.
Please, how is this? Because I asked you, because you know some people
How did that even come to your mind?
Yes, how would you guys have color?
No, because the reason I'm asking is because she could have thought she saw the lungs and it wasn't the lungs.
Let us go on a break.
You told us, we didn't ask you. You told us. So I had to confirm you saw what you saw. What you thought you saw.
Let's go on a break.
May God forgive you.
God will forgive you. Your creator will forgive you. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. 2027, PDP governors disown article on coalition merger. NLC, Apapa flex muscles over LP. Tinubu supported my bid for speaker despite not knowing me, says Tajuddin. Tinubu asked Plateau to confront ethno-religious crisis behind killings. JAM warns against illegal admission. NBA, 300 million naira collected from Rivers on unconditional gift. Averting judgment misinterpretation on how to attain $1 trillion economy by central bank. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Okay, the picture story, the little story. So over the weekend on Sunday, for an hour, 30 minutes, according to the Nation, there was attack in the Basa local government area of Plateau State, and 51 people were killed by militias.
Oh my God!
According to the story in that area. Also, in another area in the same state, 40 people were killed in the ZK community in Kwali local government area in the wee hours of yesterday. So before morning, that killing had happened, and this, of course, has sparked a lot of reaction. The special advisor on information and strategy to the president, Bayo Ononuga, was saying that the violence between the communities in Plateau State is rooted in misunderstanding between ethnic and religious groups, and he must cease, and that he's also instructed security agencies to thoroughly investigate the killings and arrest or identify those behind the violent acts. He said that they cannot allow the devastation and the tit-for-tat attacks to continue. Enough is enough. He says also that beyond these killings, the leadership of the state, which is the Governor Caleb Mufwang, must address the root cause of the age-long problems. He says that these problems have been for over 2 decades, but these problems between the Plateau killings have been for much more longer. Every time it comes from that place, if it is not tagged a religious killing, it is tagged an ethnic killing, almost as if those colorations now legitimize it. you know, it is criminal what has happened, that, you know, somebody would, a group of people enter into and wipe out. There was a 8-member family that was wiped out in these killings. Every member of the family chopped and wiped out. And, you know, to think that we will now be having these same conversations in 2025 of whether it was ethnic or religious. Can there be a proper law enforcement who, whenever you do not go through a system to address a wrong done to you, arrests those people, and if they killed somebody, they should be made to face the consequence of killing, which is of murder, which is killing them as well, so that we will start to, you know, deter this mindset of people thinking that
is very important,
you know,
because the nomenclature that we use is extremely important, because, as you said, it adds a wrong coloration and derails you from the focus. It's a crime and it should be treated as such. Because once you start putting those nomenclatures of ethnic killing, it gives a whole different meaning and makes it look as if
and when the arrest is done, let this conversation.
I listened to the governor, because the governor is like really distressed. From the last one, he was distressed. This one too is. He was talking about genocide. He was talking about land mining. That the area is rich in minerals. So what they're doing is they are cleansing. It's like ethnic. They want to wipe them out so that they can take over the land. And it's wrong. And what hurts me in this matter is they said they were there for 1.5 hours. Can you not no
security agency?
Then there's no way that those people did not call.
Yes, different people.
Because people have phones now, so they must have called, and you took them. They killed them before the security arrived. So we should now start to question
the kind of security in
Yes.
How effective is the security apparatus in that area?
Or are they
security response is also something governors must play a part in. And that's for me. I don't want to even excuse anybody.
We have to move on because it's not our topic right now, but it's worth considering as a topic.
All right. So the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAMB) has urged new tertiary institutions against engaging in illegal admissions. The board insisted that there would be no room for regularization of such backdoor administrations. Its registrar, Prof. Ishak Oleye, they gave the warning during an interactive session with principal officers of the affected institutions yesterday in Abuja. He said that all admissions must go through the CAPS, which is the Central Admissions Processing System, which has now been upgraded, you know, and which now also forms the correspondence server for the admissions. And all universities must strictly follow due process. Stated that CAPS also ensures transparency, fairness, and integrity in admissions, and that by passing it, by passing the platforms, the universities or admissions risk losing any slots that they might have. He also stated, excuse me. He also stated that they applaud the 80 universities that the president now has approved, and that it's a great thing because it's encouraging our educational system to grow. And finally, he noted that CAPS and the IBASS accounts, which has been created for these institutions, must be cleared by the National Universities Commission, National Board for Technical Education, and the National Commissions for Colleges of Education for it to be activated. So if it must be cleared through these three institutions before you can be activated.
Let me take the major headlines. So former Vice President Atiku Abubakar bid to rally the opposition into a coalition and merger fell like a pack of cards according to the Nation. The governors of the PDP, Democratic Party and political platform pulled the rug under his feet. They ruled that the PDP involvement in any coalition or merger ahead of 20 is not going to happen. According to them, PDP is a big enough party that whoever wants to come and join them is welcome to. So according to, it said that the governors ruled out PDP's involvement in any plan. The nationwide speculations about a possible merger for political parties or group. Our associations forum resolved that the PDP would not join any coalition, saying that PDP as a major opposition party welcomes any other party or groups willing to join to get power in 2027. The position announced after their meeting in Ibadan yesterday, and all of them were there, all the various members of the PDP party, the BOT, and the one-time deputy national chairman, Chief Olabode George, was also there. Atiku has been contesting for presidency and he's trying to see how we can get other groups to come together to form a new party or merge a coalition. But they said, as the PDP being a major opposition, they're not willing to join anybody. They can come in to join PDP, and they'll be fine with that. Another story in the nation.
Tajuddin Abbas, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, have been saying that the president supported him without knowing him. The governor of Kaduna State too supported him without knowing him, and he has just been gushing, and making me wonder what kind of country are we living in. Why are you talking like this? He's talking how the president did not know him, but supported him, and how the governor, and he's going to rally all the support for the governor.
Politics.
Okay, so you don't want him to be grateful to his helpers?
You can be grateful to them, call them
privately.
Why on the pages of the paper? Why
people like eye service? So people that don't do it don't go find life.
But that is why we are all.
There's something called political rhetoric. There's the way you have to say things, but you should also have to use your sense.
Yes.
Wisdom. People that say like that. See, there's Nigerian practice and there's standard practice. In Nigerian practice, you must praise even the one that not help you. That is novice. You praise them. After you, now you. After God, now you.
Okay, no problem. The punch. She's right. She's right.
But that's why people like us, we keep on criticizing them, because we look at. That's why they call them rubber stamp.
The punch.
Because the punch. Rubber stamping.
It's the punch. The punch. 2027. Atiku block defies PDP governors over coalition talks. Family feud. Peter alleges Jew diverted 1.3 billion naira P-square earnings. Buhari's ex-minister cautions Makinde on successor plot. Nigeria's external debt servicing may hit $5.2 billion, says Fitch. Algon calls out AGF on local government autonomy stalemate. Presidency slams El Rufai over plot to woo Buhari. And FG scrambles to avert Genco's shutdown over 4 trillion naira debt. Let's take one story for the break.
There's actually a scramble, according to the special advisor to the Minister on Power, Bolaji Tunji. He says that the federal government have pledged to redeem the 4 trillion electricity debt owed by the Gencos, which was the electricity, which has
to the Gencos, are we?
Owed by.
Okay.
That's what they wrote. I don't want to read it by myself. Okay. Punch say Minister of Power has pledged to address 4 trillion electricity debt owed by Gencos, which saw the electricity distribution companies threatening a shutdown on Monday. So he was now talking that the government is aware of the development and they are working hard to resolve it. That the matter has now been taken to the Ministry of Finance, who will take charge of the payment very soon, and that they are working hard on it. So this debt is made up of legacy debts that they are not aware of how the debt is arising, but they're working at is made up of part of the debts are legacy debts which were on ground before the Minister of Power became minister, and then there's the other debt, power supply debt for 2024, which makes about 2 trillion of the money, then 1.9 of legacy debt. But the minister has taken cognizance of it and is working out of it. So on it.
Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name is Nachika Okeke.
My name is Uwi Balogun.
My name is Damilola Banire. My name is Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen.
And this na Abigail.
And I dare on top of you, Pigeon.
I'm going to bring you bass, boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this.
Now what you want?
After that day, the man
you no go see him again.
If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody.
When you dey friend the husband, you not see sign say the guy small thing, don't vex, don't use signs.
If they look for person we will give them to you, fact as it be.
Men no dey ever get fault.
If baby not there for her,
na the woman.
Talk no dey be person, make person no fit talk true inside. But for this country, we know say if we open curtain in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
We no even take responsibility for the children. Leave the man.
And that's some poria.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amaka Rakwe,
I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch.
Yes. Katakata is too much because the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, they've accused the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation of frustrating the implementation of local government autonomy despite a Supreme Court ruling in favor of a direct funding for all 774 local councils. Speaking ahead of the Federal High Court hearing in Abuja on Tuesday, Alcon Secretary General Mohammed Abubakar said the AGF's directive for the Central Bank of Nigeria to open uniform accounts for all local governments undermines the spirit of the court's decision. They are saying that they should be allowed to choose whatever bank they want to use, open the accounts, and let the funding come in. They are also complaining that, since this directive has been given, they've not gotten any funding, that they should be able to, that it, goes against the directive essential for decentralizing the process as the federal government has stipulated. So let's see what happens, because I think this is dragging for too long.
Yeah.
If you want to give someone autonomy, give them full autonomy. Don't give autonomy and then come and put to another directive.
This autonomy that was given, and their governors are telling them from each of their states to not open their account with the CBN.
I don't
Maybe
understand.
we took it last week now.
I don't
and the Attorney General was saying, why it's only Delta State that has all its local governments already opened the account.
Nigeria.
Other states,
nobody has.
Out of the 30-something states.
It's terrible, because they need to move forward with this.
Okay. I was going to take still on politics and the coalition talks. So the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and ex-Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai went to go and see Buhari, President Buhari, former President Buhari. So, of course, APC was saying they have dismissed that prospect of any opposition coalition on sitting President Tinubu in 2027, saying that the recent moves by both persons to go and see Buhari is a futile and politically opportunistic. According to them, Atiku maintained the visit was merely a post-Salah critical political observers, however, and members of the political party believe it was part of the broader plan to have these opposition coalition talks aimed at weakening Tinubu's political base. According to Atiku, he said there is a plan for major political parties to come together, but this visit was not part of it. We just went to go and visit Buhari after Salah.
Did El-Rufai sit on the floor in this picture?
I didn't see the pictures.
He didn't see him.
If he didn't sit on the floor, it is a political one. But if he sat on the floor, it's Salah greeting.
Sit on the floor how? No, you just see him when he was greeting him. When he was greeting Buhari like this, he almost curtsied. He did like this.
Almost double finish.
Before now,
but he did not sit on the floor like
but that's how he always greets Buhari.
No. When he's doing the sitting on the floor, that's the one that me and Aisha used to know.
I didn't know that we don't have witches and wizards.
I don't understand how Elijah knows.
Please, can I know what will happen tomorrow?
The objective of a greeting, because opposed to
it's the personality of El-Rufai. There's a way I used to use body language to interpret.
I'm resenting what she said. You didn't hear what she said?
I wish I had the powers.
Witches and wizards on the show.
No, you know me, I'm an Edo girl. I'm a proud
fly with a broom.
Yeah.
Are you a witch or a
winch? Proud winch.
Are you a witch or a winch? You know there are two.
Don't say that on national television.
I beg,
people can start taking, you know.
I have Bender insurance, please. I'm not going to lose my powers because.
Abio, please now. When is my billion?
But I will go and visit my people at home.
How can you say on national television a wish?
I will visit my people at home. I'll let you know. But the powers to see tomorrow.
I feel like come make my life better.
Thank you, Auntie Yemi. You know how long they called me those names in school?
Let me.
I don't Chester.
Hey, Chester, Jare. Mr. Fadi, look for power.
Did you check out paper, Ninja? Did you read paper today?
Do you have anything?
I have something.
Please read. Because I just not.
Oh God. This is a sad story for me because I hate when relatives and brothers fight. This is Peter Okoye, Peter, Paul, and Jude. The EFCC had arrested Jude for money laundering to the tune of 1.3 billion. Gosh. Naira, $1 million and 34,000 pounds with his company Northside Music Limited, and the brother Peter testified against his brother,
his older brother.
Yeah, saying that he didn't give them access to the accounts. He was that when they reunited, they disbanded in 2017, and when they reunited in 2021, he began discovering the discrepancies in their financial dealings. He said he couldn't even buy a phone without going to his brother for
back then
for approval. He said he was the sole signatory to their accounts in Zenith Bank, Ecobank, and FCMB.
Are you serious? That kind of trust
was your brother.
Hi.
But you know, we haven't heard his own side. We are only.
It's an interesting topic because if he's saying that all he was that the older brother had access to all their accounts, that's a conversation worth having. That as an artist, is it okay is it safe for you to hand over the trust of your business wholly, completely to your older sibling? Because he did that probably based on trust. And then
he said that they had other managers.
Yes, Burna Boy and the mother.
So it's trust, you know.
No, you get that. Sometimes you know this their own is not healthy one.
It's not that we know it's not healthy, but it started off healthy. It's like Burna Boy and Burna too are healthy.
They started from secondary school. They had like 5 managers before they got to him. They had one, and they had one. I think he's late now. Who was their manager for like 5 years? I think. Bayo Odunsomi of Ubuntu Music, who managed them for 5 years.
Yeah.
And he says when he asked Paul, he called Paul, that what's happening? Paul said, he doesn't know, they should go and ask Jude. And
they have to move on, unfortunately. Really sad. Really sad.
Don't want us to label him until we've heard his own side of the story.
Yeah. Vanguard, our final paper for this morning. Emergency rule pro and anti-Fubara. Women protest rock rivers. Plateau Benue killings. Governor Alia threatens. Tinubu gives Mufwang marching orders. FG sets 14-month completion deadline for 777 billion naira Abuja Kaduna Zaria Road. Electricity Gencos warn of imminent shutdown over 4 trillion naira debt. 2027, why our party won't join any coalition merger, says PDP governors. And we need a strong, resilient bank to achieve a $1 trillion economy, says CBN. Let's take a few stories there.
Updates from Rivers State. So the Chief Magistrate of Rivers State, AGK Judge, has voluntarily retired from service over the suspension of Governor Fubara, and his deputy, Ngozi Maodu, and lawmakers over the imposition of the sole administrator on the state. But then drama happened. So some women have been, pro-Fubara women dressed in black have been going around the state protesting, bring back our governor, carrying placards reading, Ibas, leave us alone, widows are crying, bring back our governor, and all of that. Then another side now rose up. They are wearing white. But we say we no go greet. Rivers Women for Peace and Good Governance, led by the former Commissioner for Social Welfare in the state, Mrs. Inime Aguma. Those one now carry placard. Sole administrator, emergency rule is constitutional. Rivers Women voted for you, but you made us slaves, talking to the Fubara-led government. and they are supporting and saying thank you that the emergency rule has restored peace in the state, and they are praising it and everything.
Why do they always use women for this kind of stuff? Why would they be calling us?
Women need to be empowered.
I mean, why would you be calling women to come and doing this?
All the men are busy working
for
money, but the women.
He will not be the one dancing on the road.
The two of them, the two opposing sides, are now wondering, then what we now take seriously?
It's just.
But they are protesting, Sha.
Too sad.
And then the same vein, Amaka already took the other side of the NBA gift.
The expensive shades, the pro administrator, you see their shades, they are expensive.
The VC bags, the white on white.
Hey, you see the ones that came from Fubara, those ones look like they are suffering.
You know, like,
those ones who dressed though.
This one don't look like suffering. This one don't look like they're suffering. Have you seen this picture? These are not suffering.
Those ones who dressed.
Show me.
See the picture now. See the women opposite. The women opposite.
All of them are.
See the ones for.
These are correct. See the glasses.
They wear their bottom box, come and protest.
Bunch of unserious people. Just really.
Okay, so me, I took the Nigerian Football Federation.
Right, talk. How does this matter concern? Okay, go ahead.
The NFF have said that they're not owing the chairman, Christian Chukwu. I don't know if you all know Christian Chukwu was a very fantastic footballer. For Green Eagles in those days, and then he also coached the team from 2002, I think, to 2005. And after he died, it was on social media that they were owing him $128,000. They have come up to say it's not true, that there is no record of the NFF owing him, that when under the new administration they had checked who they were owing from that time, and that they have paid him, that he was relieved of his post during the 1-1 draw with Angola. Meanwhile, he's not here to tell us whether they are owing him or not.
So, no, I wish. I hope they are owing him, his family.
This is our cartoon here. Did you guys read it? Very interesting.
I always read
Mr. and Mrs. The boy was telling his mother, mommy, that's Idris' song. You be. She cut him off. Shut up. Who is singing? Tell your papa. When he wakes up, tell your child to transfer money to me, because I want to buy some food stuff on my way back. So otherwise, both of you will go hungry. Tell your papa. I was like, this guy is trending. That is all we can take on Front Page Review. It's Thursday, right? No, it's Tuesday. It feels like Thursday.
No, it's all day. This is menopause. Don't worry. It's all right.
No,
I understand you.
I said because we are laughing. I just thought
menopause is what is trending right now. You don't just say it anyhow.
What do you mean I don't say it? Do you know how she used to make fun of me when I was going through menopause on this show?
Okay, must you always shout? Please, it's Tuesday. I'm still in charge on this table.
On this show, Morayo.
I am in charge.
Do you remember you used to make fun of me?
Please,
I'm not leaving this show till you are fully in menopause.
On a break. Can the camera show me?
Unless you leave before me.
Thank you. Let's go on a short break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers.
Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyinbo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call permanent solutions.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless. Amadidoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw ether material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you?
Thanks for staying with us. So, this morning we're going to be discussing the 300 million naira that was given to the Nigerian Bar Association for their annual general conference planning to the committee planning the conference every year. That's the Bar Association. If there was a story that broke recently where, according to the story, the River State government had given the NBA 300 million naira because was their support towards the NBA conference, which was supposed to be held in River State. However, following the current situation in River State with the with the issue of the sole administrator who was there, and the fact that the government currently, the NBA then decided not to have their event at Rivers State and moved it to Enugu. Now, because of that, Rivers State is now asking, because of the emergency rule, Rivers State was not asking for a refund of the money to be sent back to them. Unfortunately, the NBA therefore said it's a one-time fee. They cannot refund that money because that money has been paid. And I was trying to just find the quotes from the spokesperson from the NBA specifically here. He said, traditionally, considering the enormous costs involved in hosting the AGC, the NBA actually approaches many agencies and state governments for support, and the support is requested unconditional and is not tied to hosting rights or any rights whatsoever. So Rivers expected that they have the hosting rights because they paid you 300 million naira. Now, NBA conferences have also been supported by different state governments, corporate organizations, ministries, departments, and also groups. Now, such financial supports are in form of gift, partnerships, or sponsorship. The money from Rivers was a gift and not tied to any purported hosting rights for NBA AGC. That's from the spokesperson from the NBA. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Because there are so many levels. I mean, people have said, why would you be asking for a refund? Others are saying the right thing to do is to refund because you're going to a different state to host. My own question is, why am I even giving you 300 million naira for an event in the first place? These are the conversations we're going to be having this morning. You can call us on the numbers on your screen, 020-163-52013, 090-241-63440. You can also send us messages on X and on YouTube. We'll be happy to hear your thoughts. Let me start with the lawyers in the house. Why are you guys using... Well, let's talk to why. Let's start with, what are your thoughts on this refund? Should they refund or should they not refund? Let's start with that question.
All right. So, for starters, MBA we already know, is an organization, and I've been part of the MBA for 17 years, right? And I know that whenever the conference, before the start of the conference, they put together a planning committee that raises funds, plans the whole conference to make sure that, we are there, we enjoy ourselves, we network, and then we plan, different programs and that will benefit the judiciary and Nigerians that we're serving, because we're here serving, making sure that the law enforcement and everything is being adhered to. Okay, no problem. And then in doing that, we know that so many ministries, corporate agencies, they have they accommodate corporate social responsibilities in the sense that they make provisions, right? If not for the MBA, for other people that want to do something, come and ask. And then over the years, different government bodies, state governments, agencies have always contributed to support the MBA. Not be today, now, don't they? It's been a while. So why will River State, that was asked for support, give a gift? And then due to one reason or the other, where maybe the MBA feels that certain things doesn't align to its values, the MBA has the right to move the hosting of the MBA conference to any state that it wants, for whatever reasons. And they did that. So you cannot come and say because they moved it from your state now to another state, that a gift that you gave should be refunded to. We're sorry, we can't give it back. It can't happen.
Okay. Value. So it's the sponsorship, as far as I'm concerned. The MBA conference has been since before, the governor or the sole administrator of River State. And states governors, whether hosting states or not hosting states, have always supported the MBA. Also importantly, the MBA is not just a group of lawyers. It is also a pressure group on any government in power. If the MBA needs to express loudly their objections to the sole administrator at the state of emergency in River State, they will express it in other ways. Do not be surprised that even at the conference, some of the issues that will be discussed will be this emergency, state of emergency, something. That's what some of the issues that will be discussed. And to discuss it fairly, you can't be in the state even though they had asked to be hosting. So they can request that we can host. I remember that when I was interning with the law firm I interned, one governor that is now very powerful that time was a state governor. He requested to host the MBA in the state, and he funded it because you are moving hosting, event places, accommodation for executive members and all of that. Those are huge expenses. And so governors from time to time volunteer to host. What is important that we must appreciate here is that not because say they don't collect money, now they no go fit talk again, which is what the NBA is trying to express here. And the NBA can also come out publicly and say, because of the situation on ground politically, we will not be doing this at a particular point in time. They also take the events across the country from state to state. I think it's been a while Lagos hosted the NBA. So they go like that.
Portable performed.
The one they hosted in Lagos, now Portable come. I be no be
Portable come.
Abuja, I think
it was Lagos that it was climbing the pole.
Okay, you saw that.
How do you remember that kind of thing?
She's his own thing was even we criticized the NBA planning committee that year for bringing such personality to a noble profession event. So they collected their money, which is supposed to be a sponsorship. My problem in this thing now is that the sole administrator does not even know why he was appointed. He's not facing the business of the day.
Leave sole administrator from this money.
Is he a collector of money? Is he a collector? He's retrieving money.
He's the one asking for the money that gives
for sponsorship. As we speak now, the chief magistrate of the state just resigned voluntarily.
Exactly.
You have not reassured the people that the machinery of democracy in the state is still intact. Everybody is running up and down the state, and you're not concerned about that. Why do you want to come and upset something that is working normally? They've taken their MBA. MBA is not the business of River State.
Exactly.
Okay. The MBA is not the business of River State.
I get you, and I'm not disputing what you're saying. This is my concern. You see, and I always try to look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture for me is that why is a state giving anybody 300 million naira for sponsorship?
Really?
Where does the governor get this money from? What is he manufacturing in the state? I mean, listen. I need to understand what you are producing because okay, let me finish because I don't know where he's getting this oil from. The state is 13% derivative that they're coming to them. There's big. The point is that are we not all part of this thing called corruption? And I'm treading carefully here. NBA is a highly reputable body. And it's a body that is almost like Nigeria's the people's last line of defense when it comes to the judiciary and the justice. Now, if you're going to be collecting money from somebody, there has to be something, there's got to be, I would rather a company that produces, maybe a telecoms company says, I'm giving you 300 million naira. It's a company sponsoring. But government, from governor, why would an NBA collect money from governor? Where is governor getting the money from? Is it from the coffers of the people's? Is it from people's taxes? Is it from people's? Is it from the security vote? Where is he getting this money from? That's the question. When I say 300 million for what? Why would I give NBA?
Why are you restricting the NBA sponsorship to?
I am just wondering why the NBA collect money from government. That's my own problem.
No, but why are you restricting
return or no return? Why would the NBA collect money from government?
Why are you restricting the NBA? No vex.
That's an animal.
To sponsorship to only corporate entities.
Because I don't.
We are not Big Brother.
Thank you.
We are not entertainment show.
Thank you.
It is the NBA. It is serious business that is discussed there. Where governors also want stake. You have corporate professionals gathered in one place. Governors of any state will want those serious matters discussed.
It's a matter of prestige even for the governors.
For every governor,
in their states.
And they have their security votes that is not part of any audit in any part.
Are we asking the right
question? Is very rich.
Yes, and they have portions for corporate responsibility that they want to do, and they decide where they want those funds to go.
Yes, it's part of their budget.
It can be their annual budget for legal. It can be their annual budget for media. It can be their
annual budget for anything,
and it can be the budget that they want. Because as I said, they are a pressure group. You want the NBA to see a particular point in view. You know, at the time this sponsorship money came out, the matter already diagram between Godfather and Godson. Yes, so Godson can think, oh, this is a very relevant pressure group. They can pressure Godfather because Godfather na lawyer. Yes, Godfather na lawyer.
It's a different angle.
No, that's the angle. That's how money came out. Godfather na lawyer. Let us go and get his people to talk to him. Those are the pressure group you want to influence to talk to him. And so if the NBA had their conference, if they had it in River State, he would have sent home a very important message to Godfather to face FCT business.
There's another angle I want to bring. There's another part I would like to bring. Let's go on a very short because we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go.
I can. That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying.
So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
That's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
Is it?
Thanks for staying with us. You know, the reason why I find it quite bizarre that NBA is collecting money from government, because I guess maybe from my own background, I remember that my dad was president of the Nigerian Bar Association, and I know they were having a conference once, and his people, the planning committee, went ahead to go and invite Governor Raji Razaki to be like their special guest. And of course, they didn't tell him, of course, he's the president. He now found out that, what? He went to go and invite him. Go and collect back my invitation card. I didn't invite him. Of course, the because they were scared that we've already given the governor. Said, I did not invite him. Go and collect it back. He's not invited to our gathering. Well, do we want Raji Razaki, the military governor at the time, to come to our for what exactly? What is he coming to do? And he insisted that they should return, they should go and get back his invitation card that he was not invited. Now, because the NBA was seen as a highly reputable body that speaks for the people, that represents the people. I'm not against NBA because we've somewhat watered down since his time in the 90s. We've watered down the essence of what NBA really stands for. If you are now going cap in hand or going to go and speak, or governor, or please, we need sponsors. If you can get a sponsor from an independent company, fine. But from government, how would you therefore speak on behalf of people? How do you therefore speak against government confidently. When you are collecting money from them, that's where I'm coming from as an NBA. NBA is my own last line of defense as a Nigerian. They are the body that I can run to if I have been treated as if my rights as a citizen is trampled upon. So I want to see them as a sacred body. But once you start frolicking with government and government give me money, and if you do it behind, don't let me know. But now that I am aware, I don't know. I'm seeing them in a different light. That's my position.
All right. Okay. Are you done?
I'm done. I'm done.
Maria, do you realize that government also has rights of defense within the NBA? That is not just you as a citizen. Do you know that?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So the NBA is a body that serves everybody. You as an individual, as a citizen, government bodies and agencies, the NBA is there to serve Nigerians as a whole. And then you remember that as NBA, they don't do anything without Oda. And for sponsorship, there's something called the sponsorship clause. And the administrator needs to go and check the letter, because you cannot give someone 300 million just like that. It's a government money. There were processes before that money moved from one hand to the other. So they should go and check in whatever the agreement or clause in the sponsorship. Did they write that if you give us 300 million, it is because we will do this, host this in your states?
Okay, let me ask. If
it doesn't form part of that,
let me ask you, we
can't give you money back.
To protect the dignity of NBA, do you think it's right for them to return that money?
No.
Just for the
to return.
There's no money to return. Just spend them. There's no money.
I'm talking about dignity, perception.
Let's talk about dignity.
We're talking about
going forward.
Yes, just because we need the money, no doubt, but we can find the money elsewhere. For our integrity, for the sake of our integrity,
there's no money.
Return. But do you know if the NBA returns that money, somebody else might give them that money.
We can't find
for where.
Somebody else might give them that money.
Yeah, it's possible. Let's not even give up.
Yes.
But the point is that
you're not refunding sponsorship money.
It's a gift. No, they're not even.
I gave you that money because I wanted you to host in my country.
No, but you bring out a written document to show that that was the agreement and that was the contract.
I think that's a pledge. And you know, when the pledge has been redeemed,
that's what America is right on that. That there was no document.
There's no document showing that.
There's no even document. Even if there was, that's a pledge. Once redeemed, should be returned. I don't think pledges are done that way. The rule of pledges is different from those of
no, I mean like for the sole administrator, it says that it should show an agreement that says that
it was a pledge done by the governor. You should go and hold Fubara to return him 300 million. That's one. That's just serious talk. But the NBA conference has since left where it was when your dad was president.
Yes.
Since it's become a very big show. The days of when it was just the conference and the serious business of lawmaking and all of that has passed. Lawyers now also go to the conference to also relax. Towards the evening, after the serious business is discussed, there's also events, which was why they bring some artists, people will stay for the after party and all of that. Sure. Even when I was at law school, once we finished our exams, they allowed us have an after party in Abuja. We did have an after party, even though I did not show up before people would say that I was partying. But that happened.
It's okay to relax, my dear.
I relax in my room.
So you're right.
But it has since gone far from that. So more money has now. It used to be done with the dues paid. You know, per set, per 5 years of post calls, 10 years of post call. That was how the monies were generated. So if you're an SC and you know your own money is bigger, so they used to get those monies like that within the structure. But because of further expansion of what it was to make it more inviting to people. You know, some people just don't want to go to a boring event where only talk is serious. You've already had a serious year. And so they do a conference and there's a party. Yeah. Portable can come again.
And we need to eat now.
But even after that.
No, but your dues
I mean, you know, the reason they would have collected money from Ifubara is because he was democratically elected.
Yeah.
Now, the reason they are removing it is because it's a military man.
It is an expression of their objection.
Yes.
It's a pressure group to what is happening in River State.
Yes.
And I think that's valid.
There are quite a lot of group comments here. Let me take Yakub first. Good morning, Yakub. You're live.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah. For me, good morning, Sister.
Good morning.
Me, I go with Morai this morning. The question is this. I'm very sure we have the two lawyers in the studio there. I want to ask both of them, Sister Nima and then my sister. Are you a dues because you are a lawyer? Because I learned that every lawyer in this country has some kind of dues they normally pay. You guys are paying your due, maybe yearly. I'm starting to be corrected. Are you not tell us that that kind of a due that you guys are paying, it is not enough for you guys to organize whatever you want to organize. Now, let's come to think of it. If a governor of a state giving the lawyers and then sponsoring them for being, say, they want to head what kind of a meeting, is it the same money they normally pay all kind of association in this country, like a Petroleum Nigeria Association, the Theatre Group of Nigerian Association and all that? Even they can even pay all the Artisan Association as well. Is it the same? Are they giving us money as well? So, being a lawyer, you guys know the law. You collected money from somebody and then you now move the AGM to another state and then you ask for his money. The state has for their money that you return our money. You are not saying the money has been paid. You return the money. You know the law. You return the money. Good money. You just put light to this.
Let me answer. The money was not for hosting. Thank you. You don't pay the NBA to you don't pay for hosting rights. There's no hosting rights. NFA. There's no hosting fee. Then, apart as the River State gave this money, other agencies and state governments and governors that want to also support, they will still sponsor, they will still bring their money. So it is not just that, because they are talking about River State's own sponsorship. The other people will have sponsored.
Yes. Can I read comments? Exactly. Let me. The few that we got in the group. Let me read them. Mayor of Ederland says Nigerian Bar Association receiving 300 million naira from a sitting governor of a state who refused to present a budget for preparation. Is that lawful? And that one says a 300 million naira gift leaves room for so much conjecture and leaves the NBA in a bad light. The NBA was shockingly silent when Fubara ruled Rivers with a 3-man assembly operating from government's house. Could this be why? Also, Murtala said 300 million naira unapproved, unappropriated money given to Nigerian Bar Association by Fubara is unconstitutional. EFCC must probe NBA and how the money is shared among the NBA school. Corruption thrives in compound of NBA. So the issue is, so I get the whole don't return, but for me, this is like it. For me, they are speaking my sentiments here that it is not just about who gives or don't give back the money. Where did this money come from?
That is the matter that you have with the governor, not the body. A lot of people will pledge support. You can pledge 100,000 naira support. You can pledge 1,000 naira. And for Yakubu was asking what our dues we pay. We pay. Some people pay dues as low as 5,000 as lawyers, and for an annual event. In that your 5,000, you get your legal stamps, your MBA stamp, and all of that. You also get all that. Naira. Yes, that's some people's due for the whole year.
What's your own due?
For my airport score year, I don't want to talk outside. I've paid my own. I'm not paying this year's now because they've not given me my stamps. But that's how we pay it. And so it's used for running the entire affair of the MBA for the entire year. So you go to your local MBA office, as I think it's at law school. And you get all of your entitlements, all of those things. But the conference is an event. Yes. Anybody can pledge. I want to calmly look at this thing properly. So the Fubara as a governor did not get his budget approved. Naim. He as a governor now pledged a support which he redeemed to the MBA as a body.
Where did he get the money from? Can't the MBA ask him?
Wait. If Fubara has... Hold on. Please, I just want a neutral question. If Fubara as a person has 1 billion in his account and decide to give Amaka 300 million in his account, can we have this conversation where you get the money from? Exactly. If it's showing you where you get the money from, what assumption? How do you arrive at the assumption that the money is from the River State coffers? Just because IBAS is asking for the money?
Thank you. Okay, as a governor, are you manufacturing something in your house that is giving you 300 million?
Are you broke?
Let me and Nima make this. Let's have this conversation. Because as a governor, the oil is not your personal property.
No,
it's
not.
The people's property.
I agree with you.
Now, you as a governor now, is that you are producing something, you are manufacturing something personally with your personal company that is giving me 300 million that will give you.
You must be a Dangote.
Yes, okay. Because don't tell me that you went into the people's money.
I agree with you, Murayo. You know that me, I agree on this one.
I want you to take me
But if as a governor, what my salary is in a year is beyond $1 billion. I cannot give somebody 300 million.
Absolutely. So wait. No, I'm almost done. So if Fubara is earning $1 billion a year
as governor,
no problem. Now that 300 million, if I know as NBA that governors are earning $1 billion,
how will NBA know? That's my question.
What the governors are earning.
NBA as a body, people would have pledged support for this year's conference from way back.
Different places.
If everybody redeemed their pledge and NBA carry EFCC torchlight and go say as a sources.
Okay, so let us find out.
So IBAS, if he wants to allege that a fraud has happened, show us that Fubara,
he's not alleging that fraud has happened.
No. He said they should bring his money. He must show us that the money.
The reason he doesn't.
They went into account in River State and took the money for MBA. But then you will not be asking MBA just to return the fund. You must show that the money was to force MBA to give you to host their MBA conference in your state, which you cannot show.
I'll come to Amaka in a second. Let me go to Bola from Abuja as a whole. Then I'll come to Amaka then YK. Bola, you're live.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please. Need some volume.
My own take on this issue is that unappropriated funds, according to Supreme Court judgment. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, unappropriated funds, according to Supreme Court judgment, is like a stolen fund. And that fund was not appropriated for, whether it's 2024 or 2025. So in Yoruba parlance, they said, "Ẹni tó gbé epo lọ́jà kọ́ ló lè, ẹni tó gbà ló lè." So the NDA, being a moral, justified body, supposed to return that money, not grandstanding. Now that they know where the money comes from,
like that,
whether it's from Fubara himself, whether it's from government, they're supposed to now look at it and say, this is a stolen fund according to Supreme Court, and they should return the fund. And then find a way, to pander their own image and say, we are wrong in collecting this money. So for them to grandstand and say, it's a gift, Abba, no, it's wrong. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No, Amaka, the reason for what's his name? What is his name? Is asking for the money.
It's not yet.
The reason he's asking for the money is because they are not hosting it there.
That's what
not because
it's illegal.
Yes, you see, that's what I want to say.
Yeah,
we need to understand this conversation. The conversation is not so. He himself, as the sole administrator, is not saying that there was there was fraud, or that the money was not appropriated for this, or that. So it was misappropriated. So to people that are saying this, you need to understand where he's coming from and the fight. His anger is that money was given for hosting as hosting fee, and that the MBA is not hosting. But we were now responding to him to tell him that there's nothing like hosting fee. It's called a sponsorship. And if you feel that you want a refund of a hosting fee, please show us an agreement or a contract that stated that.
We agree with you, Amaka. Everything you said is correct. We are saying that even though Oga Ibas has not seen it that way, we as the people that were looking in and saying, so they've not, this your funds has not gone through appropriation. So where did the money come? So we're not talking about hosting or no hosting. We are telling you
I like that conversation. That's where I like again. These House of Assembly members that went to court to get their Supreme Court judgment, when they were paid all the sitting allowances, it was out of appropriation.
Thank you very much.
They have not still passed appropriation. I don't know this. The salaries of civil servants that were paid. You see that is former panel. House of Assembly approved the appropriation bill with which civil servants' salary was paid for 1 year. But now that they are now paying MBA, a redeemed pledge.
Yes. Okay, let me go on a very short break.
Can I read comments?
Okay. When I come back, I'm going to read comments. Stay with us right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to be wrapping up very soon. Let's take a few comments.
Yes, I want to read this one. From Hakim sent me a WhatsApp message. I think he lives in London. He says, Mike, I believe it's morally right for NBA to refund the 300 million for the following reasons. Relocating from Rivers State to another state is preventing the states from generating revenue from the activities. B, NBA was aware of what was going on in Rivers State when the governor demolished the where were the NBA when the governor demolished the State House Assembly? Then Moses Ade says, if Rivers State can give NBA 300 million as professional bodies, then they owe Association of Nigerian Vulcanizers, Butchers, Masonry, Sweepers, same amount.
Okay, so Emmanuel says, when the First Lady pledged 500 million, and the president's son also pledged the same amount, 500 million, that they do not see people asking where did they get that money from.
These are not elected officials.
They come now, make we land now. No, you ask about personal funds of Ubara.
First son is not an elected person. So he might have his own personal money. First Lady is not an elected position either. She might have a... So for you to question where money,
where did they get
find out from her.
You know, we are always asking.
She's a private citizen. So you can't compare her to a Fubara or to a government who's taking from corporate.
Fubara bought a shoe.
So there are two different...
Fubara was a private citizen before he became...
If Fubara bought a shoe as a sitting governor,
he gave her...
Must it be from the state coffers?
I'm just saying that, listen, right now you are governor. Or you are the governor of the state. So wherever that money came from, you owe the Nigerian people that information. These people you mentioned are private citizens.
Let me take this one. This one says, Akinlo Mogbojuri says, Nima, you refuse to speak the truth because of MBA. Okay, let me just tell you that I am not an active member of the MBA. I don't take. I've not attended any conference deliberately. I don't go to the conferences. But we are discussing monies. A pledge, and I think people should Google what a pledge is. I can pledge to anything, and if I don't redeem it, there's no action that can be taken. But once redeemed, somebody can say, I cannot come and say, oh yeah, go and give me back. Because there's no particular format of contract that goes to it. If you not have a business as to how monies were disbursed, are we discussing this? If Fubara had given money to another association, for instance, and not the MBA who has a conference, we will be having this conversation, asking the bodies to return the money. If you have such disbursement issue, you have it with Fubara. If Fubara comes and shows that this money was from so means or personal funds, it's a different matter. Okay. If you are looking for River State money, we understand. But if you are looking for why, because NBA was giving money and you're insisting they must come and host the conference at your state, you need to show a document saying this pledge was given for that purpose.
Exactly. Let's not comment as a wrap up on this.
So Corey Michael says, return which money? Money where they don't already share.
They don't share them. They don't finish.
Mama TMO says, good morning, ladies of your view. Everyone. The NBA on grounds of principle should return that money which it received as hosting rights money.
And I think Amaka has clarified that several times that it wasn't a hosting rights money because it was just a sponsorship money. There was nothing like hosting rights. Now you, the giver, you might be assuming because I'm giving you 300 million, host here. That's your assumption, but they are saying they never documented that. It was never spelled out that once you give us that amount of money.
Even this network you're talking about.
Kemi says, my view is that when I give you that much money and I have a problem, it doesn't matter how I get the money, I will back you up. It's natural. You ladies, on your view, no double standards.
What? I don't understand. Anyway,
I don't really understand the message, but...
So I think we have to wrap up, but I think in a nutshell, I get the part of NBA is not willing to refund because they feel that you've pledged this amount of money and it's been used. So they're assuming that maybe you pledge it because you want to support NBA, which is fine. I mean, it's their own decision. For me, my own perspective has been that I have seen NBA as such as a sacred group that should not be seen to be...
You mean you're mixing them up with the body of ventures?
No. The Nigerian Bar Association for me still represents lawyers in our country, and lawyers are the ones that defend the Nigerian people when it comes to when your rights are trampled upon. Everything that gives you human dignity is trampled against. That's where you need a lawyer to defend you, and this body puts us together. But as Nima has also helped me to understand, the way I see the NBA back then is different from what the NBA event has become. It's now a show. It's now an event. It's no more that secret group of people having serious conversations. It's about
criminals also entitled to lawyers, and lawyers with
it's not a show. So because of the show now, my only worry is that even if you're doing a show, do the show on legitimate money. Don't do the show on money that belongs, because we are all fighting corruption, either by the work we do.
Who is saying the money is illegitimate? How do you know the money is legitimate?
Where did Fubara get 300 million naira from? They tell us. Is it your private money? Are you selling pure water? Are you selling sandal?
When Wike has been donating money up and down and was donating money, when Wike was donating money up and down, who asked any question? Nobody asked now because Fubara is on the wrong side of whoever. Now everybody is shouting, oh, where did you get it?
I would like to see. Let me respond to Wike. Let me respond to Wike. Fubara can give 300 million to anybody he chooses. I really don't care. But the moment a Nigerian Bar Association collects that money, that's where I raise the finger. Now, if Wike gives 500 million now to NBA, I'll be wondering why would they collect it from a Wike? I would ask that question because of how I see the NBA. He could he give it to Hairstylist Association of Nigeria, that's his business. Give it to bricklayers, that's your business. But the NBA is supposed to be, in my own view, a sacred organization. That is where I have a problem. So it's not my problem with who Wike is giving money to or who Fubara is giving money to, but it's the organization that is receiving that has a problem with. That's my own issue.
When you say NBA is for me, it's a sacred organization. I need to understand that because lawyers defend
everybody, criminals, everybody. That's what I'm saying. Murderers.
Lawyers defend. Wait now. Lawyers will defend murder. They will even not say you kill the person. They will still go defend. Say
no. Our business is to do the business of
because that murderer is a citizen. That murderer is in Nigeria. He should be defended. So what's the point? So murder or not is in Nigeria.
Excuse me. Yes. I'm not even talking about whether it's in Nigeria. Lawyers in general, I'm saying lawyers in general will defend.
So the group should not be called.
That's the sacredness.
So what's sacred about that? There's nothing sacred because they will defend anybody, whether you are a thief or an innocent person. So what is sacred about that?
That's sacredness.
Hold on. So now that a sitting sole administrator is asking of military past, is asking the NBA to refund money. I'm wondering if the NBA refuses, as they have done, to refund the monny, where will he go for redress?
Where will he go for redress? I like it. Oh, Nima, speak.
If it's not an illegal entity, if it's not an illegal person,
give us a cataclysmic ending. So we should just move on.
Let's just go. Everybody go and ponder upon it.
Let's go on a short break. When we come back, move on to our health segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go.
That's all we can take.
I choose to close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number one on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat.
Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying.
So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You scissors. What is his name?
That woman.
Bam! Bam!
Today we'll go here.
Hey!
Let's get to it.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it. You'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's light camera fashion, where we strut, slay, and sachet, and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark. Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name is Nachika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name is Damilola Banire. My name is Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen.
And this na Abigail. And I dare on top of you, pigeon. I'm gonna bring you bass, boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this.
This na wetin you want.
After that day, the man
you no go see am again.
If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody.
When you dey find the husband, you not see sign say the guy smart, you don't vex, don't give signs.
If they look for person we go give them to you, fact as he be.
Men no dey ever.
Thanks for staying with us. So today on the show, in this segment, we want to thoroughly discuss assisted reproductive technology with our main focus on surrogacy. Joining us to discuss everything you need to know about surrogacy, most especially the legal aspect, is an internationally renowned medical legal consultant and vice president of the World Association of Medical Law, Otumba Laolu Osoyin. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you on the show.
Thanks, yeah.
You can call the joint conversation on 020-163-52013, 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us on X and on TVC Connect. We'll be happy to hear your thoughts. Otumba, one of the, recently, one of our colleagues, Tokwe, she's trying to raise about help 40 women to get IVF, you know, and she's trying for her 40th birthday. And one of my concerns is that the legal part of IVF. I mean, we'll come to surrogacy in a second, but there's always that thing of how many times do I do? Like, how do I even go about it? Yeah. Are there legal things to consider before that decision? How do I protect myself as a mother, as a potential mother, in this issue of assisted fertility? Yeah. So let's start with that before we now go into surrogacy.
Yeah, well, it's a developing area of medical practice, which is for now highly unregulated. Okay. I know for a fact that the only piece of regulation we have is in Lagos here, when we did the ethical guidelines on asset conception for Lagos. However, we found out that there were still infractions. So all you need to do is to set up a facility in Ogun State, right? And Lagos State doesn't have, for example, jurisdiction, you know, so on Ogun State affairs. So you just cross the border, go to Ogun State and do what you want to do there. Or you come to Lagos to market, but then you do those legal things in Ogun State. So we need to have regulation that is nationwide. The luck we have so far is that the practitioners have an umbrella body, largely so, called the Association for Reproductive Health, and Fertility Health. So that helps, but we need to now have regulations guiding the process, the age, how old should you be? Is it ethical for a 70-year-old woman to commence IVF simply because she can afford it? What are the side effects of such? What are the negative probabilities that could arise from such? You know, if I donate my sperm to you, what stops me from knocking your door in 10 years' time to say that's my son? If I pay for an egg, you know, what are the conditions for it? You know, am I supposed to pay? Is it legal for you to even pay for such stuff, for such services? So just like how we don't have regulations in certain aspects of medical practice, such as, for example, organ donation, transplantation as well. We don't have regulations in cosmetic surgeries as well. But yet, there are developing areas of medical practice that people are doing every day. But now we get ourselves at times embarrassed, like we did with the former Deputy Senate President, who, you know, because there are no laid down protocols and legislations on organ donation and transplantation and harvesting, we find ourselves. So when there are no regulations, you find all sorts of practices happening, all sorts of people doing whatever. On the side of the patient, on the side of the practitioners, we found, in the course of our work, we found inexplicable things happening. We found, the recent case we handled, a lady wants to do IVF. Her husband's sperm isn't agile anymore. And then they bring the husband's 16-year-old son to donate sperm for her. So does that mean that her husband's son is impregnating her?
Those are the bloodlines.
Yeah. Or we have instances where...
True story?
True story, yeah. We have instances where mothers will ask their daughters to give them the eggs or, things like that,
It for them.
Yes. And also in the course of the work as well, you find things we never planned for. Surrogacy, yeah, you pay.
So, but there are no legislation that I know of that regulates this whole entire thing.
Yeah.
There was one year textbook I bought those days when I was worried to death about this thing, and I thought I would read my way to understanding it, but then it started clashing with my faith. There are too many bloodlines.
Yes.
Surrogacy was supposed to be a solution to, you know, a woman whose entire uterus or body cannot carry through pregnancy.
Yes.
But now I can just, I cannot not have problem, and I have money, and I want to be snatched for life. I can just go and pay somebody for it.
Yes.
There's really no reason. Just that the reason will be just that I can afford it.
Yes.
There's also the issue of IVF now. I can just look at my daughter, oh, she can't carry it through. I'm the mother. Those areas of lines of who is now grandmother, how, you know, the entire confusion.
Yes.
What can we say should legislate it? How is it legislated really? And what can we use to put sanity in the entire thing?
Basically, we have to, first of all, we are trying to do the legislation, for example, it has to be generic. It has to be homegrown. We're tired of copying and pasting from other jurisdictions, whereby totally alien to our culture, our tradition. So I wonder, at times, if you ask me, if I tell that young man there, go and buy me bread, and he buys the bread and there's 100 naira change, there's the perception that he's expecting to hold on to that change. Am I right?
Yeah.
But now we will now come and import a legislation from the UK, for example, and say that it is illegal for me to collect money from you to donate blood for you that you need it. I can go to jail for collecting money because I'm donating blood. I'm donating sperm. I'm donating my kidney. So what do? When you criminalize such, which we have done now, you create avenue for organized crime. Yeah, you create avenue for organized crime. So when we are doing legislation, let it be generic. What is the mindset of our people here?
Yeah.
So for example, in Iran, you pay for a kidney, you pay for organ, but they have their conditions for it. So we must begin to look at something. So we should not just hook, line, and sinker. In copy and just paste. The only thing you change there is put Federal Republic of Nigeria there. Meanwhile, I have copied from Ireland. Totally different worldview and perception from us here. So it's important that we regulate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like we've had situations where you pay a hospital to freeze the egg or fertilize the egg, and then during the course of implantation, things go wrong, and then they take another egg and stuff, and then by the time you have the baby, it's not, and they do the test, you find out that it's not your child. You've gone through the whole stress and emotional stress, and then we've had a situation whereby the mother has said, this is not my child, so I'm not going to take this child. Do you understand? So where there's no legal framework in this situation, now what now happens to that child that has nothing to do with what really protects that child?
Okay, we have been involved in several of such instances. Recently, we just finished a case now where a couple, got this surrogacy arrangement. The man donated the sperm. They live in the UK. And they came back with the intention of taking the twins to the UK. And it does DNA, and 0.0% kids are not his. What happened? What happened? Did they use the wrong semen? It's possible. Errors could happen. But those are reasons why we need legislations. Also, recently too, a girl, I would say a girl because she's quite relatively young, 24, 25, has the money and says, okay, I don't intend to carry. I want to pay a surrogate. Wait a minute, I can afford to pay for 3 more. So I want to pay for 4 surrogates at the same time. Why? Because I can afford it. Those are the kind of things we are talking about, that we need to have legislation. There has to be a data.
It's okay. As a lawyer, who are we engaging to get these legislations done? Or even start, what conversation
we have? That is why, for example, right, as at now, we are engaging with the National Assembly. It's supposed to be a bill on surrogacy. And we say, wait, hold on. We are working in the dark. doing a bill on surrogacy. We need an entire bill on assisted conception.
Yes.
Because not everybody does surrogacy.
Yes.
Right? Some might do IVF. So, but then again, look at it carefully. If you look at adoption laws, for example, there are requirements before you can adopt a child. Because they say the Child Rights Act will tell you that the interest of the child is most paramount. So what do? The agency regulating that will scrutinize the parents, right? What job do you do? Are you physically, mentally, financially capable of adopting a child?
Criminal record.
Why are we not asking criminal record? Why are we not asking such questions for IVF and... Yes.
Do you do drugs?
Do you do drugs? Do they go to your home? Do they check you out? Do they scrutinize? Do they do background checks? That is why we need to have legislations. Just because we have the ability to do it doesn't mean we should just do it and it's an commercial affair.
So there's also this new trend of egg banks. You know, women are now being advised that we'll bank your eggs, or you don't know what is going to happen. And egg removal from young girls for ridiculous amounts of money. Some young girls in school say, okay, for an iPhone, you can take my eggs.
Yes.
And the consequence was too grievous for one of them, where the entire center of that ovary, I think it was a right ovary that had to be, that was taken out.
Yes.
You know, so how bad is it in practice that you have seen? And what do you think can be done?
It is before this ban on Dubai, that was the easiest way for some young girls to travel for shopping. Was to go to a fertility center, get their eggs harvested, they get paid for it, and they. But again, they're also supposed to. Yes, there's also supposed to be a database. You need to have a record, so that she will not come to your facility this month, and in 4 months' time she comes to hers, and then you know that kind of thing, and you know, so you just might find out that you might have a population of people be the same mother. You know that kind of, so there has to be some form of regulation. The same way within even sperm donation and things like that, there has to be.
Because there's some men just go around sperm banks, collecting money, and I think they do it even in America. They just collect
money different places,
donating their sperm everywhere. So I think already we have a lot of human beings who are siblings and they don't even
know. Yes. Yes.
Now my question is, so we understand the need for regulation.
Yes.
You made that very clear. But as of today, a woman wants to have a child, and she's looking at the options. As a lawyer, what option do you think is most, I don't want to say moral, or which one is most appropriate, do you think, for her, such that she won't get into trouble or there won't be any issue? What's the one that...
Assisted conception is, aside from adoption, is probably this, to my knowledge, the other way out of having, aside from natural conception. You just ensure that everything you do it with, first of all, you're talking to proper experts. There are lots of people, experts there who are not really experts, but people who have observed from their bosses or from, people who have observed and they're trying to mutate what they've seen. So try as much as possible. Most of the times, these experts have an umbrella body, which I mentioned earlier. So try as much as possible to do that. Then secondly, again, is that ensure that everything you're doing is ethical. You must be able to see between the lines. You must be able to see who is, for example, even surrogacy in other climes shouldn't be commercial. It should be altruistic. That is, I want to help women who can't. I'm willing to carry for them for free.
Yeah, because I know Mariah wanted to do it at one time.
I was offering to do it for somebody. But she was going to pay me 2 million naira. I was going to collect the money, but my husband said.
Then I've had instances of people collecting money and aborting the children.
I wanted to do it for free. She was offering me money. I wasn't going to collect the money. She was offering the money. I didn't take the money, but I really wanted to because I just felt that I can do it. But my husband didn't allow.
It's actually illegal to, so what they
collect
do.
Money for it.
Yeah, what you're supposed to coin it in such a way. It's like you're reimbursing, you're paying for discomfort. Exactly, but not that a full and final payment for. So we've had these stances whereby they pay in trenches, because we've had these stances where you give these girls the money in full and then they disappear. or they abort it, or they swindle two couples, two separate couples who are desperate, you know. So, you know, so you just need to be able to see.
Very short break. When I come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Join the excitement with Betano, the premier sports betting platform.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty. My name is Nachika Okeke. My name is Uwi Balogun.
My name is Damilola Banire.
My name is Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen. And this na Abigail. And I dare on top of you, pigeon. I'm going to bring you bass, boost. I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show, say, now my husband be this. After that day, the man you go see him again. If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody. When you dey friend the husband, you not see sign say the guy smart, you don't vex, don't give signs.
If they look for person we go give them to you, fact as it be.
Men no dey ever get fault.
If baby not there for her,
na the woman.
Talk no dey be person, you make person no fit talk true inside. But for this country, we not say if we open curtain in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
Look, we not even take responsibility for the children. Leave the man.
And that's some poria.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the issue of assisted fertility and also assisted conception and also surrogacy. In cases where things go wrong, how do people find redress? Because if they don't have laws, the lawyers are not well informed. How will they find redress?
Okay, first of all, one of the things that ought to happen is that parties involved have to be adequately counseled.
Okay.
It might fail. It might go wrong. Let them have an helicopter view of what you are about to do, what they're about to embark upon. Have their consent at every stage. The consent of the donor, the consent of the recipient, the consent to store. So in fact, instances, I and my wife store an embryo or together, and then suddenly, I drop my sperm, she drops her egg, then suddenly we break up. Can she go there and say, okay, my new husband, though, she wants to use, do you understand my point?
Exactly.
Issues. We have cases in court now where husband say, look, we have been doing this IVF thing for several years, it's not working. Let's not bother again. Probably we'll find a second wife. The wife decides, goes behind his back to the clinic gets his sperm, gets a surrogate, and does it, comes back and says, Oga, you now have a child. The man says, I didn't consent to it, and we are in court as we speak on that.
Wow.
We also have instances whereby, through life, couple pay the surrogate, they come from the east, come to Lagos, surrogate delivers a child that is blind. The husband, the couple says, I did not pay for a blind child. So are you ordering on eBay? You get, I did not pay for a blind child. Surrogate says, I want my balance. I'll come and carry this baby. I've done a case whereby, unfortunately, surrogate delivers twins.
And they paid for one.
They found out that the receiving parents died a few days, earlier of COVID. So what happens to the babies? The surrogate says, I'm a youth copper. I'm going back.
Oh my goodness.
Who is going to pay my balance? Hospital is saying, who is going to pay for
delivery?
The medical procedures. Now the question is, these kids here, what's going to happen? So we now now have to revisit again and say, okay, now when we are doing surrogacy, you ensure that the receiving parties bring a next of kin. That should in case something happens to you and this surrogate delivers,
they'll be responsible.
They'll be responsible. And those people too will be counseled. You would have so we found out that a lot of times our people don't take time. You just make sure you just pay and say, okay, when I come back in 9 months' time. No, there are procedures, there are processes, there are protocols that has to be. But if there is no legislation, the best you can do is to leave it to the best judgment of the parties involved. That instances where surrogates, after collecting money, refuse to drop the baby. We've had instances where they did a case recently. The receiving parents said, honey, this child is too dark. And
it's both their eggs and semen that came together.
Well, I think must have been maybe the husband's own. But the wife said, honey, this child is too dark.
Okay, so are they
we had to convince them to take. Then somebody now recommended a cream for a baby. Yes,
okay. So are there no processes? Because I was watching this Korean movie once, and the girl was supposed to be a poor girl, and then the father of the guy was asking whether the child is the girl is a good girl to have a child for their prestigious family, and she was saying, I'm open to a DNA while the pregnancy is not even showing, and I'm wondering which DNA. And so they had to go do one, and they said as she had not given birth, the baby was 100% the guy's baby, and I'm wondering, the baby is still in embryo. How does this work really?
There is a process that you can use. It's quite expensive, particularly where you want to determine sex, or if you want to determine if there is a chromosomal problem from here. So it really picks it up, But most couples don't usually go that length because it's quite expensive. But if you want to do it, there are places in Nigeria.
So for those that were looking at the baby is black, it's not the bleached baby they expected God to form.
I mean, you wouldn't have even known the complexion of the baby.
I don't understand.
It is the deformity, it is deformity, the age, the gender. That you can determine through that process. I think of GPT or so, but not if the baby is. But we have instances too. In Nigeria too, you can check it out. I saw it myself. Website. Girls, you stand and say, my name is Bisola. I am 24. I'm in University of XYZ. I'm willing to carry a child for you for X amount of money. Hey. Totally unregulated, yes. They delivered a paper at the MBA conference, incidental MBA conference, in Tinapa, I think around 2014, on this same issue. Girls will be on websites, and they will stand there, say, I play basketball, I'm tall, I'm 6'1", blah, 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 blah. I'm willing to carry a child for you anywhere in the world. Some say I'm willing to carry a child for you outside Nigeria. That's a condition for those ones. Just arrange visa and so. There's urgent need for regulation in this system.
Okay, so you're saying that you talked about this in 2014, that's 10 years ago. And so what are legislators doing? 10 years ago.
Exactly.
10 years ago.
Yeah. They're there singing praises to the president.
When there's a conflict of law, like this one that our Senate leader is doing in the UK right now.
Yes.
So for a girl who wants to have a child for you willingly by Nigerian law or lawlessness, lack of law, in the UK, for instance, and then she crosses the icon open, and there's a conflict now because in the UK there are protection laws or restrictive laws against such a transaction.
Probably the same thing that happened to the Senate President, the Deputy Senate President will happen. They're not enforceable. The surrogate that you have paid, if she collects your money and doesn't even give you the child, which court will you take her to?
You can do about it.
You can't enforce an illegality in the first place. You understand my point? So we are only just all this, we're just hoping on hope and humanity or whatever. But we found instances whereby the motive is usually pecuniary, and when that is done, when that is the motive, it becomes highly unpredictable. Human nature with money, you cannot predict how they react.
So we need a lawmakers.
Legislations, yes, but we should not do the error. And that's what we are telling them now, to say, oh, you want to just do a surrogacy. No, you must be assisted conception bill that covers the entire gamut. You understand my point? You cannot just say you are doing a section while the other one is in abeyance. No, so, and the same effort, right, that will take you. So,
young girls who are looking to keep their eggs, do we have banks in Nigeria who are...
Yes, cryopreservation, yes, they are. They are, and they have their
any issues around that? Have you experienced any issues around those who try to, maybe they wanted to get the egg and for some reason the egg, maybe the freezer or the generator is not working, the egg spoiled, you get all kind of funny stories.
Yes, the major challenge we find at times, which is why we need legislation, is that if you lodge your egg and somehow you are writing your will, I have a car, I have a house, I have my eggs frozen in that clinic. Can you bequeath it out to someone? Can you donate? You get my point? Can you say, I'm just trying to expand your, that can your son or your, say, I want to inherit my mother's eggs. Do you understand my point? Those are the things we should ask. So that is why we need to have legislations in this. I've had instances whereby, couples break up, but they have a joint account. You get my point? Of some sort, they went there together. So how, so what do you do? Can the bank, for example, discard it? What are the processes for such? Globally, there are processes, but here, you are using your best discretion as a professional, which isn't, the most ideal situation.
If we remove religion,
yes,
can we have this conversation morally, where I love my friend, I have 8 children, and my friend doesn't have one, and the problem is the uterus.
Yes.
And I volunteer to carry. The moral question would be: I love my daughter, and my daughter can't, but my uterus is still valid. I'm still quite young. I'm in my early 40s, and my daughter is already married, and I want to carry the child for the daughter. Yes. That bloodline of is a blood, completely blood.
Yes,
it's a mix,
and that is why. That is why
the son who wants to go and inherit the mother's eggs, you want to give it to your wife.
That is why, for example, every facility providing these services needs to have an ethics committee. I belong to quite a couple of them for various ones. Where when it comes, it is not the practitioner who is moral, who has seen you, who knows your pain, who might not be as objective.
Yeah.
You just inform us and say, ethics committee, please review this for me. You've had a recent one, but the reason why it was declined was because that the mother has passed the cutoff age within our considered ethical limit. The mother was 52 or something like that.
She can't carry.
And we said no, she can't, because she has passed that certain age. If she was 41,
why not?
Because so such things, it is the ethics committee that will yes, and how many facilities have it? Those that have are just doing it because one, they can afford it, two, they try to have as much as possible international best practices. But if they can avoid it, they wouldn't.
We have to wrap up.
They would.
Any comments, questions on social media that we want to? Lots of
somebody said talking about God will just be laughing at us Nigerians that look at these ungrateful people. I've given you child, they are talking about yellow or black. Someone says everything will turn yam pepper scatter. And
so we have to wrap up, but I think I like you just to say in the final word. I mean, we've been talking a lot that we need legislation. Yes. And I think that's obviously that's the crux of the matter. And just let you give 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's also important for us to benchmark on what we have done in Lagos, which is the ethical guidelines. Let's make it more robust, fuller, and make it nationwide, not just state legislation. We've learned from Lagos. Lagos alone can't do it. But if it's nationwide, then again, we might just be able to do things rightly. And it's not only a cell conception. We need organ donation and harvesting. We need on cosmetic surgery. Which is popular now. You begin to find charlatans there. And because they are expensive, they are contemporary, people will do. So why don't we? And we have committees on health, National Assembly. Let's begin to think outside the box and do things for our people.
We need more lawyers. You thought we had too many lawyers. All of them
legislators.
There's
most of the lawmakers are
legislators. Say, I have a master's in legislative drafting, but then they have to want you to do that for them because obviously they have all this time on their hands and nothing is being done, and there's so much to do.
They're collecting 300 million naira from Fubara to go and eat rice.
You didn't say it's Natasha
that is all we can take on today's show. YK, thank you very much for your thoughts and comments. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Pleasure, sir.
All right, that's all we can take on today. We learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.